Rainbow. Hello, everybody. Well, you can tell we're going to have a good time. How are you? Welcome, everyone. Just let me go ahead and speak favor over all of us that are here. And it's Friday, and we're going to have a fun time. This is Eyes to See, or Marie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, she's in here with y'all. And so I think this is what I really enjoy about this great group of souls is that we can come together and, and talk and just have a little rap session.
Right.
Yeah.
I
So
agree.
how's the world treating you?
Well, it's actually I'm a magician, so
Excellent.
magic happens everywhere I go.
I love it. I love it.
And I mean, the handlers, they try to come at me, Mr. Smith, all over the place.
Oh
And I
yeah.
say to myself, hey, whatever happens, it's gonna be for the greater good. And I'm all right. Like I always manage. Because now I'm not saying I'm on a high vibration all the time, because like I have my little rage moments and
We all do.
yeah. And but I think most of the time I have higher vibration. This is something I've been working at for years. It didn't come overnight. But when you run into like what I would call, I don't even call them human, like the lower vibration entities, demonically possessed, whatever you want to call it, they will try to attack me. But I always try to do like the white light protection, those things and things like that. And then I see to myself, with everything going on right now, if it's not my business, I'm going to mind my business. So
There's a proverb that says only a fool puts his nose in another person's business when you have no business in his
oh,
business.
I like that.
Yeah, and it's the other one that I go with is that if you will learn to doubt your doubts, you will never doubt your doubts again.
Ooh,
Think
that's
about that one.
good.
There, someone ought to write a song like that. Come on, I am not a musician, but I'm telling you, if I was a songwriter, think about that. If you
Oh,
never doubted your doubt, I mean, you could almost, I don't know if that would almost be kind of blues or,
yeah, maybe.
yeah, I
Well,
don't know.
and also too, it's like we can't get a copyright infringement on our own song.
Yeah, exactly. Although CBS did try to copyright my voice. And I'm going, what? How does that work? I'm really confused. And as I wrote, in the response back, I said, how does that work? And that got me to thinking, Marie, it was this. And people ask how I come to some of these conclusions, is that because to me that wow, there's 77, that's a good number, and 22, good. That something else was going on. I mean, you have AI trying to say
Yeah,
it owns my voice. Well, that's weird as shit, man.
they were coming for you, Wayne.
Yeah, you're only paranoid, if they don't come for you, right?
The next thing you know, another version of yourself's going to come after you.
Exactly. Woo! I'm
Oh, that's
telling you,
funny.
it's crazy out there. It is. Man, we got a full. Oh, Kent Cook, I haven't seen you in a while. Hello, Lois. Lois, I had
Hi,
you on
Lois.
my mind last night before I went to the places I go. Hello, Grandpa Brian. Good to see you. Robert V. Pure. Hey, we got a full house in here.
Nice.
Well, hello, everybody. So you and
Oh,
I were talking earlier, and we're kind of they classify us as truthers. If they would classify us as seekers, that I could really dig.
yeah.
Yeah, you see that one over there? That's a seeker. You see that one over there? That's just a clown. um, but you said something earlier that really sparked something in my head. You said there are a lot of Mr. Smiths, and I thought to myself, this is becoming a real reality.
Yeah.
I forget which website I was on. I've actually asked the guy, so this is not very good. I'll think of it. Dollar Divine, it was something. Anyway, someone had sent him footage of a woman, a mother, that had her 6-year-old, 7-year-old child, apparently down in New York in the subway. And remember the scene in The Matrix where Morpheus was in the bathroom and all the black guys, the black helmets came in? Well, it
Yeah.
had a similar scene. The New York, I don't know, cops, NYPD,
So they say.
so they say, surrounded this woman, threw her to the ground because she did not have a mask.
I heard about that.
And I'm thinking to myself, we have truly, and I believe this more and more, we've changed timelines. And I'll tell you why. It happened when Trump was elected because that wasn't supposed to happen. In all the concurrent timelines, Hillary Clinton would be president right now. I choked on that. But think about this. We have seen all of our lifestyles change.
Yep.
We're seeing the true colors of many politicians.
Right.
And tyranny abounds in America.
Yep.
When you have an innocent woman, because she doesn't wear a mask, is brutally attacked by, I counted seven cops. And it reminded me of the scene in The Matrix. This poor woman is screaming and her kid is standing there. Now, she put a mask on the kid. All right. I think that was good judgment. But if I'm an adult and I say, well, wait a minute, maybe I am a microbiologist who realize what masks really do. And this is not what's being told about masks. When you continue to breathe through a mask, guess what's collecting on the inside of the mask?
I heard it was carbon.
It's bacteria.
Oh.
It is, it will literally make you sick.
Yeah.
That's the other, they don't tell you that side of the issue.
Yeah.
The other thing I was thinking, I was meditating this morning, and one of my guides told me, said, the body was designed perfectly in the way it was engineered. The body has a natural filtration system. It has a natural cleansing system of how it works. And when man steps in artificially and tries to screw with that, things go bad. Anyway, that's my commentary.
No, but you're right. And I have so many thoughts in my mind right now. I just got to slow down.
Breathe deep. The gathering gloom. Watch fade lights from every room.
But I was, when you were saying that, I have so many thoughts, but also too, as you know, the people controlling, and what terms they are, and the dark deeds that they do, they're turning everything upside down. So I didn't listen, I don't listen to the news very, very, very rarely. But I was driving yesterday and I was listening to what is it called? NPR.
Yeah, National Public Radio.
Yeah, which back years ago probably would have been all right. But
yeah, their format back in the 70s and 80s was superior.
Yeah. It was pleasant to listen.
Yeah.
But the announcer was saying that I didn't pay that much attention, but that some beaches are going to open. But listen to this. Sent me into another rage. I had to turn it off. So they said that people can go to the beaches, but they are not allowed to sunbathe or have picnics. So
are they allowed to breathe?
Yeah, they probably. Yeah, exactly.
With a mask.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Well, right. And because sunshine helps your immunity, obviously.
That's what makes people sick, is the lack of vitamin D.
That's why they're keeping us in the house.
No shit. Excuse me.
Oh.
Store high in transit. That's what I said right there.
Well, I personally, I don't think that the people running things are of this earth. I don't
think they're that bright. My 5th grade teacher, Miss Buttons, who long left this crazy train. She was really one of the typical country teachers. She had white hair. She was in her late 60s. Anyway, I was a genius. I scored off the thing. So after school, she asked that I would come back because she wanted to give me some advice. It was fifth grade. And I remember us sitting there in Genoa, Texas, and we're eating a sandwich. And she looked at me and she says, Wayne, you're a very smart young boy. But she said, I want to tell you something. She says, always remember this: an ounce of common sense will outdo a pound of book learning any day. We got a lot of people who have a lot of book learning.
Yeah,
They have no common sense at all.
it's true.
And you see it in these crazy regulations that they're doing.
Well, and it's, as we talked too, and I've been studying mind control for a while. And I mean, I'm by no means am I an expert, but I've studied it a lot. And it's all layer upon layer upon layer of mind control. And then when you start getting deep into it, you're like, holy crap. Like you find one branch of the mind control and then the other branch of mind control like combines. It's like everything comes together kind of like a woven thing. And it's so deep that people that are heavy under it have no idea. It's so crazy. Like, I mean, it goes to what you're saying, like a pound of what is it? Common sense. There is no common sense.
There is none. No.
None.
And I think that is I think it's systemic of a much deeper problem, is that humans today no longer rely upon themselves. They have Google, that is basically the knowledge. It's the oracle.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is part of the transhumanization process that's taking place. When the average human no longer relies upon the ability to memory, cognitively associate, what you're going to be facing is an extinction event.
Yeah.
That's us.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're already in the beginning stages, but
it's very interesting, Mary, you say that, because I was reading an article that said this very thing, that you talk to the average person on the planet and you tell them the sixth extinction has already begun, and it's already begun for the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom. Ours is the next kingdom.
Yeah.
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 Deep stuff, folks.
It
but
really
it's the
is.
Truth.
Yeah, no, it is. And I've gotten to the point where I don't do a lot of astral travel or that, but I do some of it. And I really believe in my heart that when you leave your body, you're going to go to the place where you're a vibrational match for it.
Ooh.
And I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. And it's not going to be nearly as bad as we think. And that's why they're using death as a control.
Bravo. I have to say two things on that, because yes, number one, man has always feared the unknown. Death is really the final unknown. And in what Western culture, where you've got materialism that is the foundation of all religions, it is materialism.
Yeah.
We left the shamanic viewpoint of what death was. The shamans back 10,000, 15,000 years ago, they were the ones who taught the people that death was just merely a portal. It's just a door. And it's very clear that our great our ancestors from way back when were very much aware of this, and they understood that. Today, of course, that construct, like you said, they use it as a weapon.
Yeah. But I do see some hope around me where I am. I was laughing the other day. I was in a kind of a goofy mood, and people look at me because, well, I don't watch any of the news. Like, and the way I look at it, yeah, well, right, for like 30 years. I mean, before I even knew what I know now. But people are looking at me like, what is her thing? Because I was laughing. And now when I go into the store to get groceries, because you know how insane that is, I just listen to Yeah, I just listen to Bob Marley, man. And I'll be like in my own world, I'll be laughing. And they just look at me. But on a positive note, I've been walking around and a lot of people are not wearing masks. I'm like, I'm not saying that mask is not good in certain situations, but I'm just saying they're like, yeah, nah, I don't feel like wearing the mask. And I just think that's an amazing thing.
It's it's the way they present this. Well, there are now 2 million people who have contracted this. Okay, there's 2 million people where there's 352 million people in the United States. So if 2 million have been infected, and by the way, the recovery rate on this is 98%. I mean, even influenza is worse than that. But here's the
Yeah.
odd thing. You do the math and it's 0.00004 something.
Well,
We
and
wrecked an economy for that?
yeah, and well, we all know the real reason, but the funny thing is, the other day I was walking, and I'm not saying I'm like some health guru, but I try to eat as best as I can. I'm not always,
We
I'll
all
eat a
do.
donut, but like I'm walking around and I'm just gonna keep it real. There's all these sheep-like people, right? And they got like ho-hos, they got Cheetos, they got, it's like, don't you think that's gonna kill you faster than all this other stuff? Like, hello.
The thing, Marie, the thing is, I did a study and I'll bring it out. Did one for my wife where she was doing a gig. And what I found out about highly processed sugar is that I'm going to have Nancy on here in the next week or so, getting her. But this is the weird thing about sugar. Highly processed sugar that they're eating, like, the cupcakes, the Cheetos, everything else. Um, what it does to the brain, it makes you very susceptible.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And I've heard now, I'm not, science is not my strength, but I have heard, I'm just saying, it's just a
Mm-hmm.
theory that nanotechnology has been put into these certain foods, like recently with that whole free chicken dinners and all this and that, purposely putting nanotechnology into the food so people are more susceptible to the mind control.
Yeah, I mean that it's the whole thing, you get me on this one because this is one, and I've done enough videos on this that um the pharmaceuticals.
Oh,
Um
boy.
the basic idea that you're taking these complex compounds, which are mostly always based on salt. It's really weird.
Oh, interesting.
And it's interesting, once it gets into your system, it alters the natural chemical balance that was there.
Is that where people talk about the pH balance and that, or is that
Mm-hmm.
something? Okay.
No, it's all
Huh.
part of it. If you drink ionized water, it alters some of that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So people, and it's messed up because it's like a Rubik's cube, but it's got 6 other additional sides. You might have the one side, the four-sided, figured out, but then you just realized you messed up the sixth side. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you. So is it like basically? Well, because they all love us so much, right?
Yeah, sure they do. Yeah.
So it's basically ruining people's normal biological structure.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Altering the DNA.
Would that be called? That's a big surprise. Would that be called like? Would that be called like what we might call like the diabolical magic?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
Alchemy can be both positive and negative.
Yeah.
And
Ah,
what
go
I
ahead.
look at pharmaceuticals, big pharma, they're magicians.
Oh
These are sorcerers
yeah. Yeah.
that are using alchemy in a very dark way.
Yes.
We're so ignorant in the Western world that we just go, oh, all right, the doctor's going to recommend this and that, and
What?
we're
You want
going.
me to take what?
And so when you actually read the little packets that come in there, they got these complex chemical structures. And I was looking at one day and it hit me and I said, holy crap, that is a strand of DNA.
Wow.
And
Wow.
you look at this and I'm going, but wait a minute, where else did I see that? And when I did the series on the magic of Solomon, check it out.
Well, I got to go back to that because I know I when I first started watching you, I binge watched so many videos, so I'll have to go back and check it out. But now I know a little more, and I'll probably be like up all night thinking about it.
Well, it's part of the sharing the journey, and
Yeah.
the people of the world need to understand magic never left this planet.
No.
It's magic that we're under right now.
Well, every time you go to church, it's a magic ritual.
Exactly. Well,
Oh, I love telling people that, and they're like,
oh, you're gonna go hell. You're gonna go hell. I'm telling you.
like with all that incense, you don't think something's going on? Hello.
It's like I did the one thing, hell, if it exists, is an inside job. I mean, think about it. So hell is supposed to be what God sends all the bad people to. But in order for hell to exist, it means that hell would have to be in agreement with God. But wait a minute. I thought that hell was the antithesis of what the whole thing was. So wait a minute. You know where I saw this before? This is the mafia. This is the cartels. Yeah. I mean, they both sell you the poison and then they sell you the cure.
Well, right. Well, wow. That's crazy. Cause I was just thinking about this because, heroin addiction is a huge thing in our country. It could be anything to do with us being in Afghanistan, but hey, what do I know? Nothing. No, it's a conspiracy.
Exactly.
But I don't know on a scientific level that much about the Narcan. So the Narcan, which of course is another spell, I'm sure. But the Narcan is supposed to help somebody who is addicted to heroin to not get the cravings or something like that. But what I've also wondered, and it was related to what you were talking about, was, well, there's a whole bunch that comes to mind, but what I was thinking was, well, like they create the problem, right? So they bring in all the drugs, get everybody addicted to drugs, especially the lower class, people from lesser means, because they're just stuck in that cycle, just exactly how they want us to be. And then these lower income people get stuck on heroin for whatever reason. And then they have no insurance because they can't work because they're addicted to drugs. They're all messed up. But then when they want to get rehabilitation, oh, wait a minute, they've got to go to these really expensive rehabilitation centers that they can't afford, of course. And it's the same people bringing in the drugs that have the rehabilitation centers. So, and this is everywhere. Like there's like, what do you call it? I don't know if that's a Ponzi scam or what, but these kinds of things are everywhere here. So they're creating the hell.
Yeah. It just really, to me, it's a travesty because it makes me think then not all humans are of the same soul. They're not all the same spirit. They can't be.
I think they're not of this world. I think they're genetically from other places, maybe different dimensions. Maybe they occupy human beings' bodies. I think there's a lot of different things that we don't know about, and they would be revealed more so in different dimensions. I truly believe that. Now, 10 years ago, that would not have entered my mind, but I'm absolutely convinced. And that's why they're constantly want to keep the vibration of the planet low. It's why you see all the things. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very, again, they called alcohol was originally called spirits.
Yeah.
Because it's alchemy. And when you alter one element within itself to produce alcohol, ethyl alcohol, it's amazing what happens to us. The spirit world becomes, people say they lose their inhibitions. Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about alcohol too is that it dehydrates the body. You see, that's like a succubus.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Think about it.
Well, yeah, and then there's more like, I think that's what you're getting to is the more like scientific part. It's crazy.
Go ahead. I introduced everyone yesterday, and we're going to get more into it, but spiritual biology.
Yeah. That was cool. I listened to that too. I'm sorry, Wayne. There's something to somebody was explaining one day, I was listening, she's a more scientific based person, and she was explaining exactly how the demonic entities exist in a body that is not conducive to not having the, I can't remember, not mold, but like the gut bacteria in that. So like the more sugar you would eat, the more the demonic type energies are going to be able to have a party in your body. And I was like, oh wow. I was like, now even when I want that donut, I'm gonna be like, oh my God, what am I inviting in?
Someone, I don't know, we were talking about this, it's been a while back, and I said, you know, the thing about it is, if they came to my house, they look in the door and they go, hell no, and, you know, that's just the way I kind of look at it. But it's, listen, we know there's a phenomenon that takes place in people who are possessed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, listen, when back in my youth, when I experimented with LSD and other hallucinogenics, it was mind altering. And that's exactly what it did. It altered my mind.
Yeah.
And the difference that I have always seen, people who drink heavily.
Yeah.
They have what they call blackouts.
Yeah.
And I dated a woman like that, and that's why we never went anywhere. Was because she would literally black out and then something would manifest.
Oh, I totally believe that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I never had any kind of alcohol issue, but I had that in my family. But you know, when you're a young kid, you don't know what's going on. But I mean, like, you see the crazy behavior and like, dude, stay away from me. And now people that have the gift of seeing, like, I don't see as much. Like, I have orbs all around me all the time now. There's things that I experience that I wouldn't be able to explain to a lot of people. They'd like flip out. But
that's why this soul tribe, Marie, that you actually are amongst people who really know that and go, yeah, that's a good thing, you know?
We're like, come on in.
The girl's got orbs, man. And I think it's great. I really do.
Cool.
I do.
But it was, I forgot, I was going to say, well, the people that have the really good vision, and I think I'm on my way there. I'm a little scared because people say once that third eye's open, you better be ready. Because I'm be seeing all kinds of stuff walking down the street. I don't know.
We ain't in Kansas anymore, Dorothy.
Exactly. But people that have that gift, they'll like walk into the bar and they'll see the attachments all over. I would, you know, I think as a first time experience, that would really kind of freak me out. But they say people that have that gift, you know, they get used to it. But man, you'll be starting to see, you'll be like, what is that thing on that guy's shoulder?
They're there. They exist. And, you know, again, going back in my childhood, I lived for a brief time with my mother, and she was married to a guy, and he was an alcoholic, and he would drink to the point, literally drink the rent away, but he would always become possessed.
Oh yeah.
With there, and you know, as a kid of 8, 9, I'm watching this, very much aware that I didn't know what you called it, but I knew that there was a change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've heard stories of when entities commit really dark acts, they kind of go into that kind of like demonic, something comes over. I believe it.
Yeah.
And now I'm more aware, like I can, even if there's like kind of a demonic energy, I can just feel it right away. And I right away get away from that person. I mean, usually when you're higher vibration, usually it doesn't mix. But if you have to go out into the matrix and you go to whatever, Walgreens or whatever, sometimes you run into it regardless. But it's kind of crazy because I have had that experience many, many times where, well, like I believe that there's a lot of different energies here on Earth. I think that there's aliens from different universes. I think they're everywhere here now. There's good and bad. I think there's a whole lot on Earth right now telling the controllers you got to go. Time's
I hope
up.
that's the case, man.
Yeah, because you're not going to blow up our galaxy. You got to go.
Like Daffy Duck said, them damn aliens ain't coming back because they left the idiots here.
Exactly.
I was like, man.
But it's crazy. Like you can sense that. Like I've had experiences like that probably in the last 3 or 4 years where I would look and then these what appears to be human being will look and I'm like, I just know. I'm like, I know something's not exactly kosher here. So maybe that's where they have the hologram over themselves, or perhaps it's a human being that is possessed by some other energy and they know they're in someone's body. Like with what you were talking about, like when a person blacks out or when they're heavily under drugs. It is said that the very dark energies absolutely love that, because now they come through the portal or wherever it is they come from, and boom, they got a body. They got a body. They can party, they can do all the drugs and all of that. And probably some of those energies, like you showing those pictures the other day, maybe those are now I'm not saying all those were dark energies, but like suppose it was a dark energy.
I think most of them are.
Yeah, but
I don't think the lights are here.
But they were looking for a body to possess.
You know, I tell people the story. I was remember this. I was 17, and the guy that I was living with at the time, he got in with a group of witches, and anyway, something happened, and they were going to basically kill me. And I was in the car and they were heading for a field. I lived in Houston at the time. And as we were going down this dark road, the guy in the front seat turned around. He had the gun in his hand, and he looked at me, and then he looked over at the driver and he said, "Stop the car." The guy says, "No, well, what's wrong?" He said, "We can't touch the dude."
Wow.
And he said, "What do you mean?" And there was 2 other guys on this side of me, and the guy turned around and then he put the gun down and he said, "He's got the mark." He says, "Can't you see it?" He says, "It's right there on his forehead. You
That gives
can't
me
touch him."
goosebumps. Wow.
And about that time when he said that, we came to a stoplight and 2 Houston PD cop cars came on each side.
Oh my gosh, that gives me goosebumps.
And I immediately started, I figured I only had one chance at this. And long story short, they arrested them. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So I knew very early that there are different containers in these bodies.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
And I think like the more.
And I didn't even wet myself.
You did, right?
No, I didn't.
Wow. Because I mean, that would be a reason to.
Yeah, it was a very intense moment. Well, obviously when you have a guy who has a gun and
how old were you?
17. I've been on my own since 15. And so, yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. So, these are the lessons in life that you begin to see very early.
Yeah.
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 So, yeah.
I never had anything. I mean, I've had some interesting experiences, but nothing to that level. But
no, it's intense.
I bet it is.
It is.
I mean, and you were 17, you had your whole life ahead of you, and wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had experiences that were like, I've had experiences when I was younger where, well, I'll give one example and I'll never forget this. So at the time when I was younger, I had more of that Christian concept. I wasn't religious, but I had that mindset. And long story short, I was working a temp job. I was doing data entry, real boring, really low pay. And I couldn't afford to pay my phone bill because who had any money? And, back in the old days, you'd have to use the pay phone, call a phone company, beg, can you please have your phone on, all that stuff. And I was feeling really super low. Like I was feeling really down, and I was at the job and I took my break and then I was going to go to the pay phone. I didn't even have a freaking quarter to call and I was feeling really bad. And all of a sudden, and I was doing clerical work, but it was a factory. So there was like all these factory workers in that. And I'll never forget it. This guy came out of nowhere and he gave me the quarter miraculously. and then he was gone. I mean, I don't know, he could have been an employee, but I'm just saying, I really, really believe that there are energies that just, if they see a good light human being, you know, that they want to help, boom, someone will come out of nowhere and you never see him again.
I'm telling you, you're
It's
on,
real.
Maria, you are actually onto it's a real truth. The Bible says, and I, you know, one of the reasons why it's good, it's been interesting quotes in there, but, you know, it says that many have entertained angels unaware.
Yeah.
So if I replace the word angel with alien,
Yeah,
many of you have entertained aliens unaware.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's just a
And there's
matter of
so, yeah, and there's so many, like I've been watching, since we have so much time on our hands, I've been watching.
like, what are you going to do?
Right. But I'm like, now I'm just taking it to my advantage, trying to do good things for myself. And so there's this, I think it's called, I always get it mixed up, but it's S1, Another Life, one of the Stargate series.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
It was freaking awesome. Oh, did you watch it?
I've got the whole volume in my library from season 1 all the way to season 10.
Yeah, and I just watched, I think it was, well, Another Life, whatever season. I was like, just like this, you know, and I was like, wow, so much of this makes sense now. See, they've hidden it all from us. So
the Gaiold are the actual Pothos that they're here. They ruled here. That was the whole thing about Stargate. Humanity, you're a slave race.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And then, like, I was trying to tell one of my Christian friends the other day.
Oh, that must have been fun.
There's always certain things I could talk about, but I was trying to explain to her that, like, the people that, well, I don't call them, they're not really people, but they're aliens, energies, whatever, that are doing all these horrible diabolical things. I said, the reason that they're working so hard, I think with this whole, I don't know why, I don't want to say the V word. It was to kind of reset things and bring things back, everything to a low vibration. I mean, could they say be scared one more time? Really? Be safe, implying that we're not safe. So I refuse to say those things because it's a spell.
You got it.
Hello.
You know, now you got me really thinking, because in that whole series, you know, the thing about the Gaiold was that, you know, they had the technology of which we see the carvings of the Sumerians in Mesopotamia of the thing they held on their wrist.
Yeah.
And as you remember, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just so wired up right now.
Go ahead.
But it's like, and people that are a little bit more learned in those subjects, those civilizations had the internet. They had all of this, and it ruined the civilization. And I mean, you probably know more about it, but, you know, in a nutshell. Yeah. And that's what we're seeing right now. And I don't know. I mean, hopefully there is going to be some kind of reset for us. I'm to the conclusion now that, and I'm working on it every day to get past the fear of death, because I believe, and it's my hope, and it's a mixture between hope and belief, is that once my spirit leaves this body, I'm going to just be teleported into another amazing, beautiful place that my vibration matches. It's going to be beautiful. There's not going to be any censorship. There's not going to be, you know, televisions blaring all the time, smartphones, all this baloney. I mean, you know, I won't know till I get there, but I really believe that. And I think those shows, they're telling us.
You know where I'm going?
Where?
My first destination, and I'm telling you, it's going to be in the year 1971. I'm going to be actually at the beach up from the Monterey coast, and the Beach Boys are going to be playing everywhere. You know, we've been having fun all summer long, and that's where I'm going to be at.
I love it.
Most likely smoking a joint.
There you go. Why wouldn't you, right?
Exactly. And, you know, people say, well, no, that is what, how do you know? You said that you've actually said some great, profound things here. is the fact that our vibration is what matches to where you're going to be at.
I
If you
believe that.
believe in hell and heaven, you have that fear factor, you're going to have that vibration to pull you there.
Yeah. And I also think too, people of that mindset are going to be in for rude awakening.
They
And
are.
I mean, right now, I think they're kind of waking up like, where's Jesus? Where'd he go? It's like, yeah, he ain't saving you right now, is he?
He done left Chicago and going to New Orleans. You sing it, Billy Gibbons, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, and that's the other thing. My wife was talking to me and she says, you know, she says, in your next life, she said, you know, you love music and you're going to carry this great jukebox with you.
That's cool.
I mean, think about it. I
Totally.
mean, yeah, I mean, you have those things that are very precious to you, the things that really bring you that joy. And you know,
Yeah.
you have a great energy about you that is contagious. And
Thank you.
that's the type of energy that cannot bring down.
Yeah.
It can only pull us down for a little bit, but we're resilient.
You're right. You're right. And like that experience at the store, I don't even know if I want to give them any kind of publicity. They don't deserve it. Because when we all start stop spending our money there, they're going to learn. They're going to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, I do believe that's going to happen. I mean, I think there's going to be a split. But I mean, my biggest thing is trying to get past that fear of death. But I love, you know, honestly, because I know the real truth. And, you know, even if this body is gone, I'm still going to be a warrior in the ethereal. So really, if you take this body away, you should be even more afraid because I'm coming for you.
See, that's the attitude. And, you know, I hope that we send an army to the other side with that exact mindset.
Yeah.
You know, I tell people the story of Ten Conway. I did a video saluting him in his life. And Don Knotts was the other one. Don Knotts particularly, he died laughing.
That's awesome.
His wife said it was the most interesting phenomenon she'd ever seen.
Wow.
Literally, as he was chuckling,
wow,
the rush went out from him.
I think he knew something.
I think he did too. You know,
Yep.
There was another person I knew that this guy, I just loved him. It was an old NASCAR guy. And they said right before he went on to the other side, he said, "Let's get it on." And I went, now that's a dude that went over to the other side that, you know what? I think that you'd have more people welcoming you because that's an energy that you just can't mistake.
That's awesome. It reminds me of the Doors song, "Break On Through to the Other Side."
Yeah.
And I think the more of us that wake up, and now granted, now not everybody's going to do it. And I'm to the point now, I'm not here to save everyone. It just is what it is. It's the way it is. But they know how do I explain it? It's like the people that are aware, I'm talking about more of this diabolical dark energy, the ones who kill babies and children, any adrenochrome, all of that. Well, we're onto them. And a lot of their structures, like for example, the Gematrinator, I'm not a Gematria expert, but I'm like, yeah, that book that I sent you anyways, it's deep. Well, they talk in codes, they talk in Gematria.
They do.
And where the heck was I going with that? So anyways, the more of us that know the whole game, that maybe our body's going to be gone, but we're going to wake up. Shoot, I might wake up in another planet, like just loving life, you know, with
or
no
we
rules.
may be meeting on the other side as an army. I contend the only way we're going to be able to rid this realm of that influence is fight that battle on the other side.
I think you're right. And
I'm fully prepared for it. I mean, there can be the blue light, the white light, the black light, the blue light Kmart special. I'm not going because I believe there has to be a battle on this other side to protect whatever progeny of mankind is coming forth.
Yes. And I actually believe that the spiritual war is already, it's happening right now. And see, with all of these, that you call it a smoke screen. And especially with if you look into Gematria, you'll see all these news stories all coded. There's certain numbers, there's 33, there's 40, there's just so many. Well, now that they can't speak in their little code and their little secret societies, and they can't talk with each other, they keep throwing out the conspiracy theory thing. But what's happening is it's backfiring on them, because now everybody's like, yeah, I'm a conspiracy theorist too.
Everything is a conspiracy. What did you say, Al? The cosmic alliances. I think that's very true.
Yeah.
I'm just convinced that so much of the awakening, the soul tribe, and there are many different soul tribes, and I believe many different tribes will come together to form a much larger community.
Yeah.
But I believe that they're doing the work we're getting the benefit of.
Oh yeah. Some people say that, and it took me a little while to kind of wrap my head around that, but it makes sense to me. I mean, even like that guy I told you, I'm not going to even mention the store because they don't deserve my attention. But the store that I went, where there was an armed guard, and he was like this. He was trying to be as scary as possible. And he was standing like a military police, and he had this big scary mask on, and there was a big sign. So everybody, these little grandmas, when they walk in the store, that the grandmas are really scared because he's so scary, and he has a gun.
Oh,
and
God.
I wanted to I went to the other side for a little while, but like from now on, I'll be right. Hold on. I got to just do something real quick.
Hello, everybody. I can see that's a full chat room. How are y'all doing? So good. I hope you're enjoying the conversation. Isn't Maria great? This is fantastic. How's everyone doing? Looks like they're doing good.
Thank you. I had to get a package.
No. I understand.
I got lavender because at this point, lavender bath things, candles, everything.
Good.
Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of how I don't even like to use the word fight, because as you know, that's a sigil as well. Everything. We've been lied to about everything.
I was thinking, where was this? We were in a group, and somehow the conversation was talking about, the morality of sex. The Abrahamic religions teach, a very narrow perspective on it.
Yeah.
And I just said in the middle of the group, I said, well, if that's the case, then why are the gods so interested in it?
How'd that go over?
I had one woman look at me and she says, "You've got a devil spirit in you." I went, "No, I just want to know why." But
man,
I think it goes back to this whole thing in control. And I'll tell you, when we get off here, I'm going to take some notes, because the Stargate series really brought so much out about what human beings are, I guess, what we've been subjected to, and our conditioning. You and I, before we came on the air, we're talking, and I talked about this last night on the Steiger Perspective, that we are so easily programmed.
Yes. It's
bugging me, because I was thinking today, the question is going to ask, how are you practicing social distancing? The thing that blows my mind on this is that it is 180 degrees counterintuitive of what human beings do.
Exactly.
I mean, we need physical contact.
Exactly. Well, that's part of their control. I mean,
yes.
I'd like to come on the show more, because like I have so much pent up in my brain right now.
Well, I'm always welcome.
I appreciate it. And I love talking with the Soul Tribe, with you, because you all get it. Y'all get it. Even if we have a little bit of difference in opinion, it's fine.
Pamela Jean says, I'm not complying.
I thought about that experience with the experience with the scary guy.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you don't wear your mask, I'm going to shoot you dead. And
what's with that? Armed guards at supermarkets now?
And you can't bring in dogs or children. I mean, really, people, wake up. So I thought to myself, I said, I just have to make sure I don't get arrested, because That's my biggest thing. You know, I don't want to get arrested, but I just want to just go, because I know I want to look him right in the eye. I don't know if I should say this word, but the S word, SATA, you know, you don't scare me. In fact, I'll meet you in the ethereal. I ain't scared of you, and you're not going to scare me. Oh, they don't know what to do, because that's why they want us scared. That's why on the news and the radio, oh, be safe. Be safe.
Yeah, be safe.
Oh my God, be safe constantly. And what is the other word they keep using over and over? In these challenging times. And you got to hear it every 30 seconds. And with the social distancing, oh, I had a few, like, I got really upset in a grocery store one day because I was like, really, you got to tell us this every 30 seconds, social distancing, social distancing.
It's programming.
Well, and it's like, how are a man and a woman or a homosexual couple, whatever, how are they going to make love if they can't, you know, they're trying to get inside everybody's mind.
Yeah.
And I thought, I said, boy, I got something for them. I said, I would love to do, like, because I used to do fitness a long time ago. I would love to, like, teach a fitness class and have everybody wear the mask, because, you know, just to mock everybody, because they want to mock us, because it's really an occult ritual, but what do I know? And have everybody like 6 feet or more apart from each other and just dance ourselves crazy and just have a good time. Nobody's going to arrest us. Wouldn't that be awesome?
It would. You know, you just triggered a memory in me. So remember the movie Demolition Man with Stallone and who else was in that? Who was the gal? Remember that? He was frozen and they brought him back. And who was the Leslie Snipes was in there.
Okay.
And anyway, the gal, and I can't remember his name. Someone will tell me what it is. I can see her. But anyway, I'm making a point here. So she was really hot for Stallone, and they're in her apartment. And so Stallone's thinking that this was going to be very hot coitus.
Yeah.
And and so she brings out this helmet and he says, "What's this?" And she says, "Well, this is how we're going to make love." And he said, "You mean Sandra Bullock? Thank you, Coyote Prophet. Thank you." And y'all know the story. And the whole point of this is she said, "Ooh, intercourse, fluids? No." And social distancing is just the primer for eventually that.
Oh, yeah. You know, I could just, oh my God, just there's so much in my mind, but that's a really good point.
Yeah.
But like, well, the store today, which I won't even give them credence, which I would love to see what that means in gematria, because that's a lot to do with stuff. But they're just beginning. So with Walmart and all these other stores, they're making us wear the mask. They're going to try to spread this everywhere.
Oh, it's nuts.
And I heard from a nurse, and all respect, because I know your wife is a nurse, and I totally respect nurses and doctors. Some of them.
She takes care of old people.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But
good care.
But my nurse told me when all this first started, oh, this will get us put out right here, that I didn't really need to wear the mask because it was I don't know if I should say the word, but the V word was spread by droplets. And now I have asthma. So I thought, well, you know, maybe I should. I'm not disputing that there's no reason to wear it. If you
remember at the beginning of it, the CDC, in fact, it was in the presidential briefing room and they had at the White House, they stood right up there and said, "Do not wear mask."
Yep.
That's exactly what they said.
And
for
it's
2 weeks.
And it's also, and I'm not against all occult, because occult means hidden, you know, but there are people that are doing dark and evil things with this knowledge, as you know, and I'm a novice, but the mask has a lot to do with their rituals. I know they're going to love that one, because we're all partaking in the ritual. Gives it more energy.
Well, I still say what Bill Gates is on the record for saying. In fact, I did it in the NASA document where he said directly there needs to be a 10 to 15% reduction of the human population.
Exactly.
But he said that over 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, at that point, there were 7 billion people. And I went, holy crap, that's 700 million plus people. Now that's a pandemic.
Yeah.
That one I might be concerned about. Something that's 0.0004+%, I'm not really that concerned about. In fact, as we started it, and it's almost our hours. Anyway, as we said at the beginning of this, we grow stronger by infecting one another.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's why kids, I mean, you go to any
Yeah.
daycare, it's a petri dish.
Yep.
They're infecting every one of them. Why?
As it should be.
Their immune systems are getting stronger. They need those antibodies.
Yeah.
Of course, when they bring it home for mom and dad, well, then that just strengthens mom and dad's immunity. And
Yeah.
excuse me, I don't know how you can find a cure for the rhinovirus, which the coronavirus is just merely a subset of the rhinovirus.
Well, but of course, they already
Are they
had the
going
vaccine.
to, are they saying they're going to find that this vaccine is going to be the cure for the common cold? Because that's what we're equating here. I heard from one microbiologist, and it was a very reputable publication, that simply said they'll never find a vaccine for this.
Well, but you know that you've seen they already have it already for us. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't like the idea of Trump putting the military in charge of administering this.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that idea at all.
Well, but the positive out of all of this is
Does anyone like that idea?
Well, the
I mean,
positive, yeah, no, I get
go
what
ahead.
you're saying, but the positive out of all of this is a lot of police officers, sheriffs, and real, like, good old boys, like the real ones, the real men, they're not down with any of this stuff. So they're going to have a
Think
real
about that.
time. Yeah, they're going to have a real time trying to get these decent alpha males who care about the citizens and care about their families. They're not going to be down with that. They're just not. And it's already happening.
Well, I hope that holds true, but I know once the military is given power over the civilian law enforcement, basically what happens at that point, all local law enforcements are deputized as federal police. And so if they refuse the order, then they become complicit in insubordination to the president.
Well, I guess we'll just have to see what'll happen.
I hope you're right, Marie. I really do, because
Yeah.
I don't like this scenario.
Yeah.
It really freaks me out to think that you would be, and I don't know what Trump meant by that. I mean, he said he's going to reserve the administration of this vaccine to the military.
Well, it's already happening in my state. Well,
Is it really?
yeah, well, I mean, the state I'm from, Wisconsin, and then I don't know what's happening in Minnesota.
Are y'all still in lockdown?
Yeah.
Are
But I
you
think,
really?
yeah, I think I don't watch the news because I try to stay out of it, but I heard that they're going to be lifting it here in Minnesota. But right across the border where I live, I think that all of the restrictions are starting to get lifted. But this is what was happening, though. I don't think it was all like how they wanted things to go. People are getting real fed up.
Yeah.
People are getting real fed up, and they're like, okay, at the end of the day, there's way more of us than them. And I mean, I don't really want to go out of this planet right now, but if I have to go out like a warrior, you better believe I'm going to go out like a warrior. And they know that. And they know that they have to live off of us because they're the parasites. We're not parasites. They are.
I love this. Folks, now then that you see, that's moxie. I love that. That's tenaciousness. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's the attitude. And listen, my whole thing is I like the idea of live and let live on this thing.
Me
but
too.
Yeah,
They're kind of putting us in a situation, Wayne.
Yeah,
And all I can say is when I came here, I was driving, and I never thought I'd have been saying this because I was always the peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. But things have changed a lot. And I was driving down the street one day, and it was raining. And I said, I went into this little parking lot, and it's like secondhand guns. That's all I got to say.
And Brandy, yes, I mentioned the bill 6666 and called out the actual representative behind that. Yeah.
I mean, hello.
And this is why I said yesterday, we've got to begin to practice telepathy.
Yeah.
Because when we can start communicating beyond the ability to have to vocalize, we are so far ahead of anything else that's out there.
That's true. You know, somebody had mentioned that, and I don't know if I subscribe to it, but it was very interesting. She was mentioning that in wearing the mask, your telepathy is actually strengthened. And I didn't know, I was feeling kind of like
Wearing the mask?
Yeah, because your mouth is covered, but then you can communicate more with your eyes, which kind of made sense to me. It was kind of a hard pill to swallow, but I said,
I still don't like the idea that you collect all that nastiness from you. The reason why us humans exhale is to get rid of that.
maybe we'll start punching holes in our mask.
Yeah. Well, all right, Marie, thank you for being on. That hour just went by like
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. This was great.
See, it was fun. It's just
a lot.
Yeah. And I just want to thank everyone in the chat room. I'm going to get Julie Ann. She's going to be part of a panel I'm putting together on exactly the whole thing of telepathy. So we've had a full room, and I just want to thank everybody for everything. Y'all are just great.
Yeah, thank you everyone too. This has been awesome.
Eyes to see. I love that. Well, I'll see you in there. Kayla, well, thank you. I'm in Wisconsin and don't watch the news, so thank you for the info. Well, all right. Well, at least, you know, we don't have an agenda here.
Right. You know what I heard? I mean, this is just hearsay because I don't watch the news, but somebody was telling me in my area here that all of Wisconsin opened up and all the bars were full. But I don't know.
That was actually, in fact, that actually showed up in the Wall Street Journal.
Oh, I'm not surprised to hear that though.
No, excuse me, the New York Times. That's exactly it. Yeah, they open it up and, well, people are thirsty.
Well, yeah.
So we're social creatures.
You might need a little bit of beer after all this.
Man, I mean, you know, yeah, I mean, we're human beings. This is, anyway. All right, folks, I'll see you on Monday. Thank you so much. Much love to everyone. And we will see you. Have yourself a great Saturday and Sunday for whatever it be for you. Strong in, weekend, whatever. All right.